All right, welcome everyone. All right, so we're going to get into day two stand up. I hope everybody had a great time yesterday. Welcome to day two. Hopefully, you had a good time yesterday. Here we go. The agenda today, we're going to welcome you again and just remind everybody if there's any newcomers, remind you how to slow and we're how to SLOconf, and then we're going to go through some news and announcements, and we'll get back into the fun here. So let's get into it. Just as a reminder, there's no real kind of schedule for the talks. All the talks are available now, and you can go and enjoy those. We actually are about to launch a new talk experience that's a little bit more integrated. So you'll see something about that in the Slack general in a little bit here, where you'll be able to actually see the talks inside of the SLOconf site and not have to go out to YouTube. That'll be coming shortly. Remember, we're the daily stand up. We'll have another one tomorrow. I'll talk a little bit more about the agenda for tomorrow. A new thing today at 10 a.m. Pacific, and then you can see all the other time zones on the left there. We're having a live lab with Noble 9. We'll have one tomorrow with Lightstep. The labs are going to be available at 9:30 this morning, so right after the stand-up we're in now, in about 30 minutes, you'll be able to get into the labs. I'll talk again about that in just a second in more detail. I had a lot of fun in the author panel yesterday. I thought that was a really fun time. It was really cool to interact with all the folks talking about writing books and all that. So, by the way, you can go back and look at the author channel and you can see what we talked about and keep talking to the SRE and SLO book authors. It's pretty cool. Let's keep going. Slack is there. If you're not in Slack, you're missing out. There's a ton of discussions there. Slack is now warning us that we have too many messages, that we might start losing some Slack history. That's totally fine. Go and enjoy the Slack channels. Tons and tons to do there. Invite your friends, have a discussion. And I also am starting to see people asking questions as they're getting more into the video content, asking questions of the speakers. That's great. So, tag them. They may not get back to you immediately, but I know that all the speakers are coming in and checking out their track channels and participating. Also, ton of action going on in some of the other places. We still love to see more pet photos too. This is just a little bit of the shape of the event. We wanted to share the last 48 hours. This is the YouTube stats, and you can see that people got busy watching video. We are now up to over 2,200 registrations on the event. So more people have been coming in even as the event started, and we're going to keep letting people in to come and enjoy the content and the camaraderie between all the SLO aficionados out there. I want to, every day I'm going to point out a few talks that I think are a great place to jump off. If you haven't checked out these talks, these are some that I definitely recommend going and watching and going and chatting with the speakers. If you're kind of overwhelmed by the amount of content, this is a good place to start, and then you can kind of dig in from there. I'll leave it up for a second. And you might even meet Boba Fett with his Boba tea. All right, so some news. Let me tell you about OpenSLO. This is a new open source project we just released this morning. In collaboration with some folks in the community, and in particular from Noble 9, Ian Bartholomew has been really taking the lead on this project. The basic concept of it is that it's a YAML specification for SLOs that you can use as SLOs as code that you can now kind of check into your repo. We have a tool called Oslo, which is basically a command line tool written in Go that will validate your any YAML file against the OpenSLO specification, and will kind of return pass fail. So you can think about that for your local developer machine, but really useful for if you're going to put SLOs as code, check into your GitHub repository, make it part of your CI/CD workflow. You want to break the build if your SLOs are malformed. That's what Oslo lets you do. And then the vision for this project is that we can take all the different vendors in the market and we can actually align them on this single format, which is great for end users, great for customers, and also great for vendors because it makes interoperability pretty straightforward without necessarily taking away the intellectual property or the kind of the magic secret sauce of the solution. So by making it really focused on the format and the API and the kind of the configuration, they're going to make it, I think, a lot easier for vendors to work together. We're already seeing that. On this project, we're already working with Dynatrace, and we're already working with GitLab. And if you want to learn more about OpenSLO, I highly recommend you go check out OpenSLO.com, which is live now, and the GitHub repo, github.com/OpenSLO, and you can see the source code. You can see Oslo. You can see all that stuff. And tomorrow in this meeting, we're going to have actually a Q&A with with four of the contributors. May know Niall, and then Alex Nauda, who's our CTO here at Noble 9. Oh, and then Ian, whose name says Niall Murphy, who's actually Ian Bartholomew, who's also at Noble 9 at Lead SRE. And then Andrew Newdigate, who's from GitLab. And Andrew's got a cool story with this because he's got an internal SLO solution, and he's actually planning to move his internal SLOs into the OpenSLO format. So really cool stuff there. You'll hear from them tomorrow. We also just opened up a SLOconf-OpenSLO channel in the Slack too. And I think all those guys are hanging out there. And we really are turning this into the Niall Murphy show, aren't we? We're even like labeling different people as Niall Murphy. You guys kind of do look alike though. It's like a younger version. Ian's like a younger version of Niall. All right, so OpenSLO, super exciting. I'm personally just super jazzed about this, and we're really excited to be working across the community. Would love to have people get involved, have you contribute to it, have you see how it can interop with your products, and we'll go from there. It's some fun stuff happening in the chat right now about this. Okay, cool. So moving on. So the labs are going to be open at 9:30, as I just said. So whenever kind of it was planned to be after this stand up, we'll probably end a little early. Keep an eye out for it. We'll update you in the general channel, but you're going to be able to see, and you can already see OpenSLO. If you go to openslo.com, there's a demo video link. I posted in the general channel this morning as well. There's the Noble 9 hands-on lab, which you can do self-directed, or you can do it at 10 today, Pacific time again. So in about an hour. Lightstep will have their live one tomorrow. It'll be available to you hands-on at 9:30. Dynatrace and Ozcode both available at 9:30 today. So in about 22 minutes or so. So yeah, definitely a cool new thing for you to do. Much more interactive. This is something that people asked for when we originally planned this event via Twitter and an open Google Doc, was they wanted to do some stuff hands-on lab. These companies, including ours, I built something really special for you to try out and to see and to kind of get into the hands-on stuff. So I hope you enjoy it, and we'd love any feedback you have on the labs. Just as a reminder, the core team is here to help. If you need anything or you're concerned about anything, reach out to one of us. We're easy to get a hold of, and we'll help you get sorted, whatever it is. Okay. And then finally, I want to, again, as I did yesterday, thank all of our sponsors. The Let's Slow level sponsors have made a huge commitment to enabling the SRE community with education, and have put in a lot of effort and financial support to help promote the concept of SLOs. So we really want to thank them for helping us make this real. Here are all the top level Let's Slow sponsors. Let's leave it up for a second. All right, and then our Slow Steady and Slow Burn sponsors, who also have been instrumental in making this happen and have really supported the event greatly. And we really do appreciate everything that all of these companies have done to make this real. We couldn't have done it without them, and I'm so honored that we have so many. I mean, it's kind of, to me, it's kind of shocking, but I love the fact that we've got such a great group of companies coming in to support this event. And then finally, remind you that we have a couple of media sponsors, and expect to see some news and coverage coming out in a few places over the next few days about the event and OpenSLO. There's some interviews I think even went out today from some other media outlets. So definitely keep an eye on the news and see what's going on and how people are perceiving the SLOconf outside of the event itself. All right, and I think that's, one last shout out. Don't forget, I mentioned again yesterday, the Beyonce Meetup. Dr. J and Jeremy Tinley going to be speaking there. If you haven't registered, great thing to do to follow up after this and be part of the continuing community. This kind of SLOconf monthly, if you know what I'm saying. So we'll see you there as well. Okay, let's get back to the event. Before I wrap up, I want to take any questions anybody might have, or by the way, at this point, any comments on how you liked yesterday or didn't like yesterday. We'll take we'll take any feedback you might have. Let's see. I'm just checking the chat here. Any questions? I'm going to say that everything was perfectly clear and everybody is ready to get back to the event. So thanks so much for your attention. This will be recorded and published to the group later. So I'll see you in the. It's all perfect. Oh man, you're making my day. We'll see you all in the Slack channel. Let's slow.